Hello everyone, welcome to Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. I'm Kishore and I'm here to solve a classic Sudoku created by Shye. So we have been posting many classic Sudokus on the channel of late, and this is the second classic Sudoku on the trot from me. This particular Sudoku is titled Curses and it was posted by the great author Shye on her blog and also on the CTC Discord server if I'm not wrong. So this is a very hard classic Sudoku and the author herself had given this a rating of 9 out of 10 on the difficulty scale. You know, to be frank, even the Sudokus which are rated 5 or 4 are quite hard to solve, but you can imagine what happens if it's rated a 9 on a difficulty scale. So in fact, I tried this Sudoku myself and I had to approach Shye for a total of 3 times. I got stuck for a total of 3 times and each time she was patient enough to show me the continuation. So I'm very thankful to Shye for this, and finally I managed to complete this Sudoku. So if you're unable to do this Sudoku yourself, don't be so hard on yourself because it's a very hard Sudoku, as I said. Of course, you can finish this with a guess, but I'm saying logically. So having said that, if you have been enjoying what we do on the channel, please do hit that subscribe button below. It doesn't take much time to subscribe to the channel. You will never miss a video from us in the future if you subscribe, and you'll also get all notifications like community posts and any other thing that is posted on the channel. So please do subscribe. And if you like this video, leave a like under the video. So let's start this Sudoku without much further ado. So I know how the Sudoku exactly works. I will take you through the exact solve path. The rules are simple. It's titled Curses, but it's a classic Sudoku. So each row, each column, and 3 by 3 box in the grid has digits 1 to 9 without any repetitions. So these are the rules. Let's start the Sudoku. So you can see that the Sudoku has a really nice pattern. If you observe, there are 2, kind of, what do you call this? S shapes mirrored, right? A really nice pattern. So let's start the Sudoku. We'll just do some basic stuff at the start without, jumping headlong into the intended logic. So 7 is in row 1, 7 is in column 9. So 7 goes here. And 3 is in rows 1 and 2, so 3 goes here. I know these basic steps that we do here will do little or nothing in order to help towards showing the internal logic, but still it's better to do something basic before going into the exact step. So 6 is in rows 4 or 5, so 6 goes here. I mean, by Sudoku 6 goes here. Then 6 is in row 9, so 6 goes here. And what else? Okay, 6 is in columns 8 and 9, so 6 goes here. All basic stuff. Then what else we have? Any other corner marking? Okay, I see that 9 is not in row 3, 9 is not in column 2, so which means 9 must be in one of these 2 cells. And 9 is in columns 8, 9, that gives me a 9 here. So I think this would be enough as far as corner pencil marks is concerned. We will make more as and when it comes along the way. So let's shift our style a bit and write some center candidates, especially on cells which have very low candidates. So look at these 2 cells, 1, 2, 7. And 6, 8, 9 are ruled out, so that is 3, 4, 5. And similarly, on the symmetrical side, 1, 2, 3, 8, 6, and 7. So these would be 4, 5, and 9. Now I'm going to just simply motor along, writing some candidates across the grid, and then we will show. I'll show you the intended logic. Notice that you will not get the first digit without using the intended logic by the author. If you're solving logically, there is no way on earth you could get the first digit without finding this logic, which is very, very hard to find, because I'll tell you why it's hard to find. So let's start this. 3, 6, 7, 8 and 5 and 9. So this area is restricted. 1, 2 and 4. And 4 is eliminated here, right? So let's go along row 9 again. 6, 7, 8, 9. And this cell is restricted. 1, 2 and 3. This cell is also restricted. 1, 2, 4. Okay, so what do we do next? Yeah, let's look along column 2 now, and particularly these two cells, 3, 6, 7, 4, 5, 9. So these must be 1, 2, 8, and you can't have 1 here, you can't have 2 here. Okay, now let's look at these two cells. If you observe closely, because of the symmetrical pattern in the grid, I wrote pencil marks here, I wrote here, I'm writing here, and I'm now writing here, right? Kind of symmetrical. So 4, 6, 9 and 3 and 5. So these two cells will be 1, 2, 7, 8. This is 1, 7, 8. This is 2, 7, 8. Okay. And then let's write some more. 4, 6, 9 and 1, 5 and 7. So this will be 2, 3, 8. Okay. And now if you look along column 2, 7 must be in one of these cells. So we missed that corner marking, which could have been done earlier. 7 is not here. 7 is not here. So 7 is here. So that would have put a 7 here. So let's do that. Look at this cell. 5, 8, 9, 2, 4, 3, 6. So 5, 8, 9, 2, 4, 3, 6. So that has to be a 1 and a 7, right? Yeah. Look at this cell. 5, 8, 9, 1, 3, 6. So that's a 2, 4, 7 again. All right. So where are we now? Let's write some more here. 5, 8, 9, 4 and 7. So I'll need 1, 2, 3 and 6 in these cells. So this will be 2, 6 and that will be a 1, 3 and 6. Okay. This is also restricted in the sense that it has 3 or fewer than 3 candidates. 3, 6 and 7. 1, 5 and 8. So that is 2, 4, 9. This is also restricted. In fact, just 2 candidates. 3, 6 and 7. 2, 5, 8, 9. So 1, 4. Excellent. So any other cells that we can focus on? This cell. I mean this one. 3, 5, 6 and 7 in the column and 1, 4 and 7 in the rows. So it has to be a 2 and 8. Nothing else. This cell. 4, 5, 6, 1, 7 and 8. So that's a 2, 3 and 9. This cell. 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 and 7. This is a 2, 8 and 9. So I'm pretty sure all these solvers, all our viewers who have attempted this classic would have done all these, pencil mark every cell basically in the hope of finding something and only to get disappointed. But now is the time to show you the trick behind this amazing classic. So let's do that now. Look at these 1, 2s. The author would definitely have put these for some reason, and my attention before asking Shye was also focused on these 1, 2s, and I was trying to make them work, but somehow I could not find the connection. So let's first highlight some of these cells where the 1, 2s can go in rows 1, rows 5 and row 9, right? Because of the pattern of givens of 1 and 2, the author has forced the 1, 2s in those 3 columns, right? Now, before I explain further about these, let's just observe a simple small thing which is going to be really important. If you look at this column and ask yourself where the 3 goes, 3 has exactly these 2 cells, either this cell and this cell. And similarly, in column 8, 4 has exactly 2 cells left. 4 cannot be here, 4 cannot be here. So 4 is here and 4 is here. Now you will understand why I am making those pencil marks. Okay, now let's see. So now in this, coming back to the original deduction, in these red cells, you will have 3 instances of 1 and 3 instances of 2, right? There is no denying that, because these 1 2s are going to get forced there. So there are exactly 3 instances of 1 and 3 instances of 2 in those red cells. Now consider these red cells alone. Let me remove these. Let's remove those reds and make them yellow maybe for now. Now in these instances of reds, which are along the, let's say bordering columns, you will have exactly 2 instances of 1 and 2 instances of 2, right? Because there are just 2 columns, and in 2 columns you can have exactly 2 instances of digits. There's nothing to explain further there. Now we are left with one more instance of 1 and one more instance of 2, which can only go into these yellow cells. Now you would have got where I'm getting at, right? So we already know that in these 4 yellow cells, there is one instance of 3 and one instance of 4. Now we also have logically concluded that one instance of 1 and one instance of 2 must also be there. And there we go. The world's most beautiful quadruplet, you can say, quadruple. So I got a bit excited there. It's a quadruple. So this is 1 2 3. Because in these 4 cells, you can only have 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 and 4 are already forced in those yellow cells, and an instance of 1 and 2 must also be there. So there are exactly 4 shaded cells and 4 digits possible. So this will also be 1, 2, 3, and 4, but 3 is here, so that's a 1, 2, 4. So you can see that this is going to form a quadruple. Let's just take a second to admire this beautiful logic. How on earth a solver is supposed to find this logic? It's like in your brain, some part of the nerve from, a corner from here you can say, and then some part of a nerve from a different corner, they should transmit information to get this tactic. I mean, if you have found this yourself, then really hats off to you, because it's very, very difficult to think this way. So that's why I'm saying, if you found this yourself, then you really are a genius solver, because this was simply out of reach for me. I said that I was focusing on 1 2s a lot, but still I could not arrive at this conclusion that these 4 yellow cells had only 4 possibilities. Very tough logic, but only Shye can think of things like this. A wonderful, wonderful step. So now look what this is giving. Mind you, this is not going to make the classic very much easier. There are still things you have to do. So please stay tuned until the end of the video. Even after this, I had to approach her twice to show, to get the continuation. So let's move along now. But this is the first major obstacle in the Sudoku. So now let's make use of this beautiful quadruple. Now you can eliminate the 7 from here. So 7 goes here, because 7 was in one of these cells, and we know that they must contain only 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 7 goes here. Excellent. So just to get our first digit, look at the amount of efforts that we did. Now, if you don't mind, I'll remove these red cells here, because we just explained the things that are needed with them. Okay. Now let me think. 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 6, 7, and just seeing if the 7 that we deduced is doing something. Okay, 8 is in one of these cells in column 2, and that gives 8 in one of these cells in column box 4. And now this cell is restricted, I feel. 3, 6, 7, 8, and 2, 1, 9. So that is going to be a 1, 4, and a 5. Okay, so this is basically what I did after she hinted me how to. Shye did not show me how to arrive this pattern exactly, but she again stressed that when I asked her, she was just hinting me all along. It was not like she was saying this digit has to go here. She was giving me hints. So she told me that these were the digits you need to focus along, and also hinted that these 3s and 4s were important. So that got me to thinking, and I found that this forms a quadruple, which really amazed me. Then okay, so we have, I think, reached the second big obstacle, you can say. Now the cells to focus are these 4. Let me highlight them in maybe green. And we are going to make use of these yellow quadruple and force some digits along those 4 green cells. They are really important in the context of the classic grid. So I'll show you how we can eliminate. Let's start with this cell here and remove the other greens for now. So now if this cell is a 1, let's chart where the 1 goes along. So 1 is forced here in row 9 and 1 is forced here in row 1. And 1 in row 5 is forced here. Now at this point your brain should give you a contradiction immediately. If you have a 1 here, 1 is forced here, there is no doubt, 1 is forced here, no doubt, and 1 is forced here. Look what this is doing. You have 2 1s in those quadruple, which are 4 distinct digits. So this is clearly a contradiction. So look how beautifully we are making use of this quadruple across the grid. So to find this deduction. So this cannot be a 1, so it has to be a 7, right? So again, the second digit is also a 7 in the solve. So let's remove this green from here, and 7 is in here, 7 is in here, so 7 goes here. But we also have a pointing pair of 7s here, so that gives me a 7 here. So that's not a 7, that's 1 8. So we got some little action, and in row 5 7 goes here, and in this box 7 has 3 options, so let's not disturb it now. Now let's move along. Look at this cell, the other cell in the quartet. You can say I'll call this quartet. So let's look at this cell now. Can this be a 2? It's all about asking if that can be a 1 or that can be a 2. So if that is a 2, now let's chart the 2's path. 2 is forced here in row 9. Again, 2 is forced here in row 1. Right? Simple. And similarly in row 5, 2 is forced here. So again, the same contradiction. A 2 here is forcing 2 2's in the quadruple. Beautiful, right? So again, the same contradiction. So the moment I found that this quadruple, I was able to find all these. Let's continue. So 2 is not here. I'll remove these greens. So which means it has to be a 4, and that removes 4 from here and allows us to do some things. 4 is in this domino, 4 is not here, basic stuff. So 4 is in here in row 9. And what else can we do with the 4s? So write some pencil marks here. Maybe this is 2 3 6 and this is 1 3 and 6. Right, all are done. Then any more pencil marks? Maybe here, just for my satisfaction. 4 6 7 9 1 5 and 8. It's very restricted, so this is 2 3. Okay, right, now let's focus on the other 2 cells of the quartet. Let's first look at this cell and ask ourselves whether this can be a 2. Let's make it green. Now in row 1, 2 is forced into this cell, the green cell, and in row 9, 2 is forced into this cell, and in row 5, 2 is forced into this cell. So instead of that cell and that cell, now we are getting this cell and this cell as 2's, right? So again, there are 2 2's in the quadruple, which is clearly not possible. So which means we can slay 6 from that digit. So let's undo the things, remove the colors. Okay, so this cannot be a 2 because it was forcing 2 2's in the quadruple. So that is a 6, which means this is not a 6. And let me remove the stray pencil mark here. Okay, so 6 is eliminated and 6 is in one of these 2 cells. Excellent. Now where do I look? Maybe let's make some more candidates here. 5 6 8 9 1 and 3. So that's a 2 4 and 7. And this guy here, still 4 possibilities. So I'm not going to disturb that now. Now let's look over at this cell. Can this be a 1? So I said at the start, before just focusing on this quartet area, that it's all about asking whether it's a 1 or a 2, because it makes use of the yellow quadruple very beautifully. So let's think this is a 1. So again, same idea. 1 is forced here in row 1, 1 is forced here in row 9, and 1 is forced here in row 5. Simple. So there are 2 ones in the quadruple. Again, not possible. So clearly, we are sure that this cell cannot be a 1. So that is a 3. So 3 is not here. Okay, so 3 is not here. So it becomes 2, 8. Now let's think what we can do with the 3's maybe. 3 is forced in this domino. All right, so 3, 5, 6, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 4, and 7. This is 1, 4, 7. Then what else we can do? I'm looking along this column. Maybe this cell 6, 7, 8, 9, and 3 and 4. So that is 1, 2, and 5. Okay, I got a 3 here and a 6 here. So I'm just seeing if I can make some more eliminations. So 3 in box 4 is in one of these 2 cells. Nothing much there. Okay, I think it's time to use the next idea. So it was somewhere around this stage I had to approach Shye again. And then once more. So, how do I explain this? It's also very difficult to see. Okay, I'm going to highlight some of the cells and show you what exactly is going on. So let me highlight these cells using blue. Right, now in columns 3 and column 7, you will notice that these are the only cells which can take a 2. So we are going to make use of this fact. You would have noticed that these 2 cells have the same pencil mark. So often in Sudokus with advanced strategies, W wings play a really powerful role, and in this case they are playing a role in a completely different way, a very advanced way. So now if you think if this cell is 8, or rather you should be thinking what happens if both of these are 2's, then these 2 cells will not be 2's, and in column 3 and column 7 2 will be forced in the same row. Right, because we have eliminated 2's from both here because of these 2 being 2's. Now 2's will be both here. Now how do I force both of those as 2's? The only way is by putting 8's here. Or maybe you can put an 8 here. If you have an 8 in these cell or these cells, let me highlight it using pink. If you have 8 in any of those cells, then 2 is forced in both of these cells, and all these blue cells here will not be 2's, and in columns 3 and 7 you will have 2 2's. So again I had to approach her at this stage, and she told me that there is a fish pattern exists, and I could finish the Sudoku after that. So amazing trick, right? How do you see these things, guys? It's very difficult to see because I was thinking all kinds of basics. I won't say basic strategies because X-wing, swordfish, and those guys are never basic, but these are completely different. It's like you need to have a really powerful brain to see these things logically. So now we know that these guys, pink guys here, can never be 8's. So which means this cell right here has to be a 1. So which means this is a 2, 5. And these are also not 8's, and 8 is not here. So 8 is forced here. And that gives a quartet. Half of our quartet, you can say, half of our quadruple. So you have a 2, 4 quadruple here. So which means you will have a 2, 4 quadruple there. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine writing a quadruple across 2 different columns and 2 different rows, guys. Never ever. Usually you see quadruple in a box, in a row, or maybe a column, but not across 2 columns and 3 rows. Amazing. So that's not a 2. That's a 1, 3 pair, and that gives me an 8 here, which gives me a 2 here, and this is a 4, 9. That's not a 2, so let's remove these blue guys here. I'm going to let the yellows remain because I still think it's such a beautiful idea. So you have a quadruple here as we deduced at the start. And so how do I continue? Okay, 8 is in this box, which goes here. That means this is a 3, 5. And then what can I do? I placed a 2, 8 here, right? 8 in row 2 goes in here, 8 in row 8 goes in here, 8 in this box is forced here, that's not 8, that's a 2 9, and then 8 in row 4 is forced here, so you have 8s in these two columns, so which means in this box 8 cannot be here, so 8 is going here, and that has to be a 3 5 6. This is not a 1 3 6. Okay, let's continue. And this cell right here cannot be 3 6 8 2 4 7, so that is a 1 5 and a 9. And look at this cell, 3 6 7 8 1 4 and 9, so that's a 2 5. And the moment you do that, you notice that you have a beautiful quadruple, triplet. My mind is so focused on the quadruple that that's what comes out of my mouth each time. 2 3 5 6 8 9 7, so that's a 1 4. Okay, please stay tuned. There is one more sharp technique here which is kind of associated with the second idea I showed you. So still it is not that easy. You have to see that idea. So let's continue. Right, these would be 3 6 and 9, and that's not a 3, that's a 6 and a 9, that's not a 3 4 5. So and this is a 1 and a 9. So where do I go now? And this cell here has to be 4 5 6. Okay, right, so I've reached that point. You'll notice that whatever goes here must go here. So you kind of must have got the idea again by now that where I'm going with this exactly. Look at this column. You have 2s in one of these two cells. Now if this orange cell happens to be a 2, this will also be a 2, and you'll eliminate 2 from column 1. What a beautiful idea, guys. It's so beautiful, really. I mean, I like finding these little things, and I don't think without this it's possible to continue Sudoku. Maybe there's something you can use, but this really made the Sudoku easier. So this is the the third most difficult step in the Sudoku, you can say. Of course, I found this myself, but I don't remember what was the second thing I asked Shye, but there were 3 times I approached, and it was not at this place. From the moment I found that 8s cannot be here, I finished the Sudoku myself. So let's continue. Okay, so this is a 5, not a 2, so that's a 5, that's a 3, that's a 2. Now that's a 6, that's a 5. So I'm just going to now race along. It's just basic classic stuff here. So let's remove these colors. And that's not a 2, that's not a 6 either, that's a 3, so which means that's 1, that's 3, that's 2, 9, so that's a 1 5, and that gives me a 4, gives me a 9. 4 eliminates 4 from this cell and this cell, and you have 9 here, so that's a 1, this is a 2. Let's finish off row 6. 3 6 are the left out digits, so those must be 3 and 6 in this way. And what do I do here? And this box can be completed. That's a 4, that's a 3, and that's a 6 and 9. And that finishes off this digits 3 6. These will be 1 2 and 9 for the column, and you can't have 1 and 2 here, so that is a 9, so that's a 1 2. Okay, these will be 4 7 8, and you can't have 4 here, that's a 7 8, and 5 is in here, so that's not 5, 4 and 9. Let's finish up this row now. 1 is here, so that's a 4, that's a 2, that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 4, 7 1 5 1 9 5 6 6, 9. Nothing to explain. I'm just writing the digits based on the pencil marks. So that's a 4 for the column. So 7, 9 goes here, which means they must be here. This will be a 5, 8. And that 5 gives an 8 here, a 5 here. That's a 7, 7, 9, 4 and 8, right? So 4 and 8. And with that, I've completed this most amazing Sudoku by Shye, and by which we managed to crack a really hard Sudoku. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please do leave a like and remember to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.